Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2021 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship game between Team USA and Team Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan sees losses sample suspect. The starting six lineup for Team Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan has authored a remarkable story so far in this World Hockey Championship, a 2-0 record, shootout wins over Latvia and Finland, and will now take on the United States. Kazakhstan trailed in both of those games, managed to come back and win it in extended shootouts. 8 rounds against Latvia in their opener. And Team USA coming off a 5-1 win over Canada, a 1-1 record. So Kazakhstan's 2 wins are worth 2 points each because they come after regulation. And the standings in Group B are getting bunched up.
They are, and for Kazakhstan and for USA at this point, a win in regulation will put them in very good stead to make the quarterfinals. Usually need about 11, 12 points to qualify for the quarterfinals, and take a big leap forward here as Cal Peterson get back in the net as Stolarz is gone. Boyarkin gets another start. Look at those numbers. Sterling, 954 through 2 games. They play on their own end a lot. They give up a lot of shots, defend hard, rely on their goaltending, and are pretty good in the shootout.
He's 51 shots against the Finns. He stopped 5 out of 9 in 2 shootouts. Last meeting was in 2014. Seth Jones scored the overtime winner for Team USA. Back to pick it up is Alexei Maklukov. He's partnered with Darren Dietz on the Kazakh defense, and Dietz blocks that shot, kicks it ahead. There are 9 foreign-born players on this Kazakh roster. 3 of them are Canadians, including Dietz, who's a native of Medicine Hat, Alberta. Dietz back across to Maklukov. I'm not sure you'd call it a rope-a-dope, but Kazakhstan is something like that.
More like a defendant hope more than a rope-a-dope. They play very hard in and around their net. Sag back and spend a lot of time in their own end.
Shot whistled wide by Nikita Mikhailis, whose dad is the head coach of this Kazakh team. Connor Garland of the Arizona Coyotes flies out ahead to Moore. Travis Moore, the native of Thousand Oaks, California, now playing just down the highway for the Los Angeles Kings after being traded there by the Toronto Maple Leafs. At the point, Zach Jones with a shot that goes wide, and Jack Drury on it. His uncle Chris is the GM of this USA team, and Jack Drury had a terrific year this year in the Swedish Hockey League, won a Swedish League championship with Bäckler.
You watch him play, you can tell he's got hockey in his blood. He's a very smart player. Played against Canada his first game and was solid defensively, always in the right spot. Kind of player coaches would like.
Yeah, Ted Drury also played in the NHL. There's a lead pass knocked down by Matt Hellickson. Snaps that pass ahead to Ryan Donato. His dad Ted's a former U.S. Olympian. Bouncing puck in front, that's knocked away. Played back at the point. Hellickson feeds it across. And a sharp angle shot taken there by Kevin Rooney. Matt Beniers is in the U.S. lineup today in place of Tage Thompson, who was shaken up in the Americans' win over Canada. Hellickson a lead pass for Eric Robinson. Shoots from a sharp angle. That goes wide. Scooped up by Sasha Shimolevsky. Wraps it around, bounces through. That creates a chance for Robertson. Kicked away by Boyarkin.
Eric Robinson gets to the spot all game long. Such a good skater. Finds himself around the puck.
Back at the point, kept alive by Adam Clendenning. And here's Kevin Rooney on it. Kazakhstan held Latvia to just 14 shots on goal in their first meeting, and then got pelted by Finland.
A team that has a lot of players that play for the same domestic club in this very building.
And the Kazakhs, the same situation.
Yep.
They're KHL team, Barış Nursultan. Barış is a snow leopard. Nursultan is the city they play in, which is actually named after the first president of the independent Kazakhstan, who ruled for 19 years. Zach Jones moves in and fired that wide. Back at the point, it's held and brought in. Centering pass by Kevin LeBanc was blocked. Here's Matt Roy of the LA Kings. That goes off a stick and out. And the players who play in Nursultan talk about it's a planned city. It's brand new, basically. Brand new arena there. And on this Kazakh roster, 17 of the 26 play for that one KHL team.
And Trevor Moore, a little shaken up as Abdelkader gets after Sagadev. Previous to that, Chmielewski wheeling around. Eric Robinson finds it, and Boyarkin, who's been, as we mentioned, excellent throughout. Very quick going side to side. Not a huge guy, but quick legs, athletic.
The 22-year-old Boyarkin led Kazakhstan in goal in the 2018 World Junior Division 1A. That got them promoted to the World Junior Top Group. They played there in 2019 and 2020 before they were relegated. Kazakhstan has made 5 appearances in the last 14 World Championships. At the World Junior level, they've been in the top group in 2019 and 2020. That was their first appearance in 10 years. They've only been at the top level at the under-18s once. That was back in 2013. So these players for Kazakhstan have played in a handful of IIHF tournaments each, but for the most part, it's been in Division 1A or Division 1B.
Good news is, Gord, well, they're not going to get relegated because they had a good start, but there is no relegation anyways,
right?
Because some of those lower divisions were not able to have their tournaments this year.
So presumably that will be back next year. There'll be relegation at next year's World Championship in Finland, which is always an intriguing dynamic to the competition. Centering pass knocked down by Moore. Played back to Jones. Zach Jones back across to Clendenning, a long shot, and that's gloved by Boyarkin. You could argue that 2 of the most exciting games at the 2019 World Championship were Great Britain over France
in overtime. To stay in
and Italy over Austria
in a shootout. To stay up. They were fantastic, amazing moments. We won't have that drama at the bottom of the standings this year, but it'll be back hopefully next.
The battle for quarterfinal spots, though, is very much joined as Matt Tennyson fired that wide. And there's Jack Drury with a chance. Boyarkin makes the save on him. Shots piling up here early for Team USA. Here's Brian Boyle back in the corner. Finds Ryan Donato. And that's scooped up by Igor Shalapov. Kazakhstan really relies on its top 4D. They play their top 4D, their top 2 lines a lot.
It's like an NHL team. Top 4 defensive play a whole bunch, 25, 27 minutes. We don't see that as much internationally. You're allowed to dress 8.
Right. So you've got 20 skaters dressed.
You go 12 and 8 or 13 and 7.
Kazakhstan has a defenseman. There's a centering pass, walking right in. Chmielewski. Oh, what a stop by Boyarkin. Terrific save, point blank there on Chmielewski. He's looking at the scoreboard saying, how did that happen?
Don't want to watch this one. It was the speed of Eric Robinson. Active stick on the forecheck. And Boyarkin drops his stick on his way out to challenge Chmielewski. Never quite gets underneath this puck. He just catches the middle of the blade, doesn't open it up enough, never gets it upstairs.
We'll let in a long shot. That's kicked away. Matt Roy got it back up, centers it, and Dietz plays that ahead. Kazakhstan, 2 wins in this tournament, had 2 in its previous 32 games at 5 World Championships.
There's been a lot of history-making moments in this tournament already. Whether it was Latvia beating Canada, whether it was
Kazakhstan beating Latvia,
Denmark beating Sweden, all around the horn. There's been all kinds of stuff that has never happened before. It's been a topsy-turvy tournament, and that's why the tournament, the quarterfinals, will be very interesting over the next week. You can usually pencil in, well, Sweden's going to make it, Canada's going to make it. So far, neither of those countries have won a game.
There's a turnover to chance in front, and a point-blank shot taken by Kirill Panyukov. who scored the tying goal against Finland in the last game. That's kicked away. Kazakhstan has not led except for the end of the two shootouts.
0 seconds with the lead.
Applicator shoots, and Boyarkin knocked it way up in the air.
Call a fair catch.
Here's Zach Jones with a long wrist shot, and Boyarkin's got that. Shots piling up early. So far, scoreless here in the first period. Across the street to the other arena, and Switzerland will play Sweden tonight in a game the Swedes need to have against a very tough Swiss opponent. Robertson drops it back, and the shot taken by Clendening, knocked away by Boyarkin. Clendening with it. Played back across and scooped up there by Zach Jones. Virginia native, was a third-round pick of the Rangers in 2019. Played for the U.S. in the 2020 World Junior Championship.
He's been solid throughout. He's offered an offensive element to his game that Capuano said he's probably the only defenseman who's got a bit of the green light in the offensive zone to go rove around a little bit.
He's had quite a 6 weeks. Robertson drops it back, fed in for Clendening, scores! Adam Clendening's got his second of this World Championship, and the United States has grabbed the lead.
Noted offensive dynamo, 3 points already. Adam Clendening, he goes old school wrister, soft chip into space, and the guy you want with it, Jason Robertson, he spots the ice. Nice slow pass, good battle in front by Connor Garland. Tangles up with the defenseman. Boyarkin gets down low. Clendening able to go up and over. Head up, settle. Rolling puck allows him to sling it upstairs to get USA on the board. Connor Garland won't get a point on that goal, but he'll deserve a lot of credit for the work he did in front of the net.
Adam Clendening played 9 games for Cleveland in the American Hockey League this year and scored 1 goal. Ahead by Weidman. That's knocked Brink wide. Pass knocked away from Patuhov. Hellickson battling for it. And Shimilevsky sends that pass ahead for Robinson that was knocked away from him. Jesse Blacker knocked that down. Shimilevsky back with it. Play back for Kevin Rooney. And Rooney slides it back down to the, or trying to slide it back down to the Kazakh zone, and it bounces into their bench.
So it's the number 1 line that strikes again. Good puck support. Trevor Moore makes a couple guys miss, keeps the puck alive. So Robertson and Kazakhstan all out of sorts. Weak side of the ice, wide open. Clendening, you hear him yelling. You can see him yelling. He gets it right where he wants it. Quick release. I love guys who don't score very often. They always want the puck. Hang on. Why are you so excited? You got 4 goals in your NHL career, but you're calling for it like you're a 50-goal scorer. It's great.
He's feeling it.
Like he must have scored the other night against Canada. That line really has been their best offensive line. Moore, Garland, Robertson, of course.
Well, Lannon slides that down. Boyarkin steers that away. So Kazakhstan in a custom position, trailing. against Latvia was wild. Latvia grabbed the lead in the third period and was called for icing. It was a bad call. And 12 seconds after Latvia had taken the lead, Kazakhstan tied it up. Donato drops it down to Drury. Slides that back to Christian Wolanin. And Wolanen's shot ramps off a stick and high. Beniers. Spins back, being shadowed there. Now moved ahead by Panyukov. And Wolanin back with it. Now with the LA Kings after being traded there by the Ottawa Senators. And Craig Wolanin played internationally for Team USA. The Stanley Cup winner as well.
Briefly a teammate of mine in Toronto. Big, steady, stay-at-home defenseman. The opposite of Christian.
Bumped ahead by Savitsky. Trying to find Mihalis. It was taken away from Volk. Two Kazakh players fall. Volk is injured. Now wound in by Blackwell. Drops it off the bank with a shot. And Volk is still trying to get off the ice. Kazakhstan finally touches up, and Curtis Volk, the native of Medicine Hat, Alberta, is just now back on his feet and getting back to the Kazakhstan bench.
The officials tried to let it play out a little bit. Collision. Own guy here, Mikhailis. Oh yeah, it goes underneath him. Mikhailis might have clipped the back of his head, shin pad or his skate. Slow to get up. Oh, knee right to the side of the head. That's tough to watch. Curtis Volk, you mentioned, Medicine Hat, 4 years with the Tigers. A couple 45-plus goal seasons there.
Played one game in the NHL for Florida in 2017.
He's an NHL player, part of the club. One's all it takes.
Glendening lost the puck at the side of the goal. Picked free by Alexander Shin, and now Robertson racing to it. Back at the line is Dietz. Got his pocket picked and shot off a leg and wide. Mariev lays it back down to Shin. Dietz in, shoots from a sharp angle. And that's knocked away by Cal Peterson. Now it's turned over and a hard shot taken there by Kazakhstan Shestakov. For Shin, shoots. And Peterson makes a stop on that. Good pressure now from Kazakhstan. At the point, and Makhukov can't hold it.
Sequence there for the #1 line for Kazakhstan. Point shots. Big guys get around the front of the net. This guy might be their best offensive player.
Dietz walks in across the line, but the play is offside. 9:59 to go here in the first period. Clendenning's got the U.S. up 1-0.
The 2021 IIHF app. Download it now from the Apple App Store and Google Play.
Back here in Riga, Latvia, the 2021 World Hockey Championship.
Tough news for the Americans. Anthony Stolars, who injured his ankle against Canada 5 minutes in, has actually left, gone back to the States to get it looked after. So he, of course, is no longer with them. Down to 2 goalies. Third one, Ukameso on its way over. Boston University product.
Wolanin flips that around. It's knocked down and played away by Valery Orehov, who is in the Kazakh lineup for the first time after clearing COVID protocol. He tested positive in the lead up to the tournament, so served his quarantine.
And the quarantine rule is, which starts to get a little interesting now with teams getting knocked out of the NHL playoffs.
Right.
When you show up, it's day 1.
Right.
You are allowed to play on day 6, provided that you test negative the whole time.
Yeah.
So the quarterfinals are on a Thursday, 9 days from now. So you got to get here by Friday if you want to play in the quarterfinals. So if you're in Germany thinking about Leon Draisaitl or Dominic Cahoon or whatever it might be.
The last quarterfinal, or the last preliminary round games are on Tuesday.
You got to get here tomorrow.
You have to be here by tomorrow.
The Russians added Tarasenko. Thought they were adding Samsonov, but he has not been allowed to come by Washington. He's getting some treatment for some lingering issues.
The Russians do have an extra goaltender here with them. They've got several spare players, but again, because they're not in the bubble, they would have to quarantine if they're not in the bubble. Jones, the backhand shot that goes wide. Here's Robertson with it. Centering pass knocked back. We mentioned Zach Jones. He won a national championship with UMass. Then signed his NHL contract, made his NHL debut with the Rangers. Now representing Team USA at the World Championship.
How's your spring going? Not too bad for a 20-year-old.
LeBanc feeds that back. And the long shot taken by the captain. Advocator is knocked away. Blackwell walks out, rolls that back in front. That's knocked away by Stepanenko. Shots 11-5 in favor of Team USA, and Advocator whistles that high and wide. Advocator back with it to the point to Hellickson. That's picked off. Moved ahead by Romerev. And Romerev spins back. That shot, that pass, rather blocked by Advocator, works back in. Romerev shoots from a sharp angle. Peterson got an arm on that. And Hellickson knocks the loose puck down. Dietz pokes it back to the Kazakh zone. Shin with it. Goes it right back around to Makutkov. That centering pass from Shestakov was knocked away. And now Boyle throws it rink wide. In stride is Wolanin jumping in. Christian Wolanin. Fields back in the corner. Wolanin. Lots of traffic. Tried to pass that down, went off a stick. Deed's got a stick on it. Now a wraparound try by Donato and a penalty coming now. Donato plays it back to Wolanin. The penalty coming to Kazakhstan. Foy to Donato. Kazakhstan still enough possession. Jason Robertson comes on as the extra skater, but the Kazakhs finally touch up. And with 7:01 to go in the first period, the United States will get its first power play.
There, Dietz is going to go for the cross check in front of the net. Extended zone time for the U.S. allowed them to work it around, and eventually on the wraparound, here he comes. As he leans into Jack Drury from behind, knocks him into the goaltender, taking the scoring chance away. The Americans, who have a pretty good power play going in the tournament so far, head to the PP.
This is just the 4th time in 3 games that Kazakhstan has been shorthanded.
Which is amazing, because against Finland, they were in their own end the entire time. Didn't take any penalties at all.
Face off, won by Drury. Now Jones with a shot, rebound in front. Moore couldn't reach that. He's shaking his head on his way back up the ice. Robertson knocks it down. Back across is Jones. Feeds it down to Robertson to the goal mouth. Drury put that through. Now back is Jones again. Feeds it back across. Robertson is shot. And Boyarkin kicks that away. Moore to Robertson. Back to Jones. Jones walks right in, shoots. He missed short side. Boyarkin never saw that.
He was down and completely screened out by Moore.
Robertson feeds it back across to Jones. Back to Robertson. Cold slides it across, and Moore with a hard shot. He routed that high off the glass, and Robertson reaches out and keeps it alive.
Robertson's heart rate's about 22 right now.
Garland.
So calm out there with the puck.
Moore to Garland. Winds, waits, and shoots. Boyarkin kicks that out. And the rebound picked up. And Shevchenko slides that back down to the American zone. Garland goes back with the hulking Shevchenko, 6'5", 230 pounds, bearing in on him.
Not the first time Garland's had a bigger guy try to take a run at him. His whole career has been that way.
Abdelkader 40 seconds to go in the power play. Drops it back to Blackwell, and that centering pass goes off a stick and wide. Blackwell to Garland. Held at the line by Weidman. Weidman to Garland. Back to Weidman. Slaps it back across. Donato, a hard shot. Rebound that was blocked in front from Blackwell. Donato drops it down to Garland. Furious pressure now. Here's Weidman with it. Back across. Garland centers it. And Blackwell couldn't get a shot away. Quick chance at the side of the goal. Knocked away from Donato. Garland. Final seconds of the power play. Takes that pass from Ablocator and shoots. Barracan save. Ablocator centered it. That was knocked away. Out of the box comes Dietz. He's 2-on-1. Dietz in, winds and fires. And the save is made by Cal Peterson. Lots of pressure for Team USA. A 1-0 lead here in the first period. Back here at Arena Riga, the 2021 World Hockey Championship. It's unfortunate, we mentioned before, that fans aren't here in the building because Latvian fans are truly among the best in the world.
There has been some rumblings that maybe sometime next week, maybe.
There's intense pressure on the local and national officials to open things up. Restaurants are somewhat open. Terraces only and patios until 9 p.m. Robinson picks that off. A centering pass was knocked away. And games end at 10:30. That does us no good.
We have no idea. The catering truck at the rink is always open.
Robinson, a shot that was shut down. Now Clendenning has that stolen away. Mihalis moves in with Savitsky. Mihalis shoots. Peterson save, and then Clendenning went barreling into his goaltender, but Cal Peterson of the Los Angeles Kings has it.
Denning's already got 2 goals in the tournament, trying to create some more offense. Hits Michaelis' stick. Good decision to get a shot in there, but Cal Peterson hasn't had too much to do. Shots 20-7 right now. He's able to turn that one aside.
Peterson played 3 years at Notre Dame.
Effectively taken over the #1 job in LA from Jonathan Quick.
Age of 26. Drafted at Buffalo in 2013. Wasn't able to come to contract terms with them. Became an unrestricted free agent and signed with LA.
You gotta believe in yourself quite a bit to go to LA knowing that they have Jonathan Quick there. It's a big long-term contract.
How about Spencer Knight the other night for the Florida Panthers?
Performance by him. Guess he's getting the next game.
Now Roy has that shot blocked by a Colson. Looks in the corner for Matty Beniers, who will be a top pick in the upcoming National Hockey League draft. Almost certain to be top 5. Can really fly. LeBanc plays it back to Foy. Roy shoots. That's blocked by Barracan. Matt Roy was an LA 7th-round pick in 2015.
Found money. Anybody that deep in the draft?
LeBanc plays it in deep.
You get 10 games out of a 7th rounder. That is a bonus.
What about guys who weren't picked?
Well, that's also found money. Or the scouts were really smart and they were no good when they're 18 and 19. That would be my case. I don't blame the scouts. I wouldn't have drafted me either.
Here's Moore with it. Moore drops it back to Robertson, steaming in off the bench. Panyukov has lost his stick. Now Robertson has it taken away, and it's moved ahead by Panyukov.
Don't want to get careless as Jones goes through his feet. Last man back. You don't want to get careless thinking that you have such control of the play. You can make some high-risk plays at the blue line.
Now Moore with it. Looks back for Robertson. That pass got away from him. Robertson with an assist along with Moore on the first goal by Clendenning. So Robertson's got a point in every game. Now steaming in, a quick chance for Starchenko, and he got steamrolled in the crease there as Tennyson stepped into him, stopped him in his tracks.
He absolutely turnstiled Zach Jones there. Jones had no idea the kind of pace Starchenko was coming with.
Robertson drops it back to Garland. Back at the line as Hellingson shoots. Boyarkin the save, the rebound still loose in front. Quick chance there for Blackwell, and Boyarkin's got it.
Starchenko, the captain, still got some juice in those 35-year-old legs. He winds it up, and I think Jones thinks he has him, and he just skates right past him.
And
How about Tennyson? You rarely see contact that heavy on the lip of the crease. Too much stuff going on, nobody's moving that fast, but Tennyson leans right into him. Perfect check while engaged with Shevchenko. That's pretty well done.
Hellingson long shot. Boyarkin the save on that.
He's got the flippy stuff on the stick today.
Brought in by Ablocator rather. And now LeBanc back with it. Blackwell a shot, that goes wide. Dominic Hasek used to drop his stick all the time.
Yeah, but he did it on purpose because he wanted his hands free to make other plays. I don't think Boyarkin's intending to drop it. I think he's just getting tangled up and losing control of it.
Shin centering pass is picked off, moved ahead by Weidman for Ablocator. Justin Ablocator. Backhands that towards the goal, picked up by LeBanc. Drury to Wolanin. Weidman plays it back in deep. Deet stepped in front of that. Now LeBanc's got it back. LeBanc. Fan of that pass. Dietz knocks it out. And off the bench, Roy got it back up for Drury. Kukov takes the return pass. He's all alone back there and finally looks ahead for Shin. Mara played that and it's picked off. Dropped back by Drury. Scooped up by Donato. In shoots at the fucking wide. Drury back on it to Donato. Walks it and shoots. Gets it back and backhanded that wide. Donato banks it back for Wolanin. Wolanin shoots. That went wide. And again, Boyarkin was screened. Roy tees it up and shoots. That's deflected. Boyarkin kicked that away. Wolanin back around to Donato. Final seconds now, the opening period. Drury across to Wolanin. Back to Roy, shoots, and Boyarkin knocked that away. 0.7 seconds remaining here in the first period.
No doubt Boyarkin taking a breath because he has been under siege. 25 shots. The latest one through traffic, and when you're not that big, and Boyarkin 6'2", but he plays a hunched over style. He doesn't like to look over top of piles, he likes to look through them. So he's always down and working through traffic. Good once again.
And time expires here at the end of the first period. Adam Clendenning, the native of Lakeville, Minnesota, has his second goal of the tournament, and the U.S. has a 1-0 lead after the opening 20 minutes.
U.S. just leaned on them. Puck possession, point shots, tips, rebounds, and some pretty nice skill around the net. And Clendenning, a surprising defensive finisher again with his second of the tournament.
You're watching the 2021 World Hockey Championship from Riga, Latvia. Our first intermission is coming up.
I fell after, like, yes. What else? This little ridge. It's quite a few people right now. You want me to take your helmet? Yeah, don't mind. Oops, sorry.
You want to get in it? A couple Boston guys?
Kazakhstan has shown their strength on defense in this tournament, adding Clendenning, registering his second goal of the tourney. USA registering 25 shots on net. How important is it to set the tone early in this game?
Yeah, obviously we know how good their goalie is, and how physical they play, and kind of box up in the house. So you just got to keep trying to get shots through, get guys taking the goalie's eyes, and 25 shots, we got a couple more, but just got to find a way to get a couple in.
Your first major international tournament with USA. What's the experience been like so far?
Yeah, it's been great. It was an easy decision for me to come, to represent my country, and fortunate to do it with some friends, and just enjoying it so far. But a lot at stake. We got a good team here. We're gonna do some special things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the last 2 years, we had to pause the game that we love. But the love for the game has never died. Ice hockey is ours. Our endless spirit, our passion, our love. Little by little, the IIHF is bringing the game back. It is time to get back on the ice.
Игра состоит из множества моментов. Каждый момент приближает тебя к выигрышу. Ближе и ближе. Движение за движением. Касание за касанием. Момент за моментом. И победа. Rezultāts pēc pirmās trešdaļas. ASV 1, Kazahstāna 0. Metieni pa vārtiem.
Good luck, guys. Loose puck, loose puck. Go back, a little bit back. Yeah, a little bit back. Okay? No, just stay, guys. Hey, okay? Hop, hop, hop. Good, go out, probably go out. Good.
getting set for the start of the second period here in Riga. We mentioned that Kazakhstan has trailed in both of its games so far, but one thing that Kazakhstan hasn't done yet is trail by 2.
They're not built to come from behind. You can see they don't generate a whole lot. They're a counter-punching team, defend really hard, but you're right. If you're able to stretch it out, get a second one, make them open up, then their entire game plan is not nearly as good.
Teams begin the second period 5-on-5. There was only one power play in the opening period. It went to Team USA. And that man, Darren Dietz, took the penalty. Colson chips it down, and Colin Blackwell, the New York Rangers, goes back to pick it up. 10 years after he was drafted, Blackwell made noise in the NHL this year as a New York Ranger. He was drafted by San Jose, spent 4 years at Harvard. 3 Harvard alum on this USA team.
Can't wait for trivia night in Team USA room. You guys pair up. When you're 5'10", sometimes it takes a long time to find a home, find your opportunity. He did the most of the Rangers this year. He was very good for them.
Wolanin drops it back to Tennyson. Back to Christian Wolanin. A shot that went off the skate of Jesse Blacker. Blacker, a Toronto native. Spent 4 years in the Ontario League. There's Tennyson, a sharp angle shot. And Boyarkin kicks that out. Robertson gets around to Colson, walks into the slot. And now a penalty coming to Kazakhstan. This Robertson's long foray through the offensive zone finally drew a penalty. Extra skater comes on, it's Garland. And here's Robertson with it. Jason Robertson drops that back to Garland. 6-on-5 now. Garland shoots, bouncing puck in front. Jones reaching for it, rebound, score! Trevor Moore. And the United States takes a 2-0 lead, 1 minute and 33 seconds into the second period.
It's good patience to wait for Garland to come off the bench as the 6th attacker, get it set, and then recognize it doesn't have to be a big hard shot down in the front of the net. Just want to get it down there where you will outnumber the opposition. And Connor Garland doesn't shoot it that hard to begin with, but he sees a clean lane and multiple sticks are swinging at it. You got Moore, LeBanc, both stand right in front, and it's Moore who gets the first tip, goes just wide, swept back in front by Jones, and then one more to the empty net. But getting it there when your guys have inside position gives them a chance to make something happen. And 6-on-5 goal, well executed. All starts with Jason Robertson, of course, drawing a penalty with some nice puck possession and decisions at the blue line.
I'm going to make my case again here.
You still want them to get the power play despite scoring the 6-on-5.
Yeah, I think with a penalty coming, you score. You should still get the power play.
I have no problem with that.
Fired in by Hellickson. Stepanenko knocked that around, picked off by Garland. Connor Garland spins off that check. 20 goals the year before this past one in Arizona for Connor Garland. Famously had one go in off his face.
Yeah, got it really hot when he just got up a couple of years ago. He's due for a new contract and in line to get a pretty good one. He's been Arizona's consistent offensive player. Trevor Moore showing a little cold shoulder.
Now our colleague Ray Ferraro argues that's interference because the guy you're hitting doesn't have the puck.
I would argue that with him to the death. I have the puck. I can go anywhere I want. I can skate and move around anywhere. That's my puck.
Battle forward in front as Shestakov drove it in there and kicked away by Cal Peterson.
Trevor Moore, latest goal scorer. He's presenting his stick. He knows where he wants it, and Connor Garland puts it right on a tee for him. Barely had to move the initial tip. Watch Garland head up, and he puts it right there for Trevor Moore to get the initial tip, which breaks down all the coverage, scramble everywhere, and eventual empty netter.
Trevor Moore was traded to Los Angeles in the deal that sent goaltender Jack Campbell back the other way to Toronto, which has turned out to be a very significant deal for the Maple Leafs. And for Moore, homecoming, grew up in the LA area. He signed as an undrafted free agent by the Maple Leafs out of the University of Denver. At the point, here's Roy with it. Shoots, that's tipped by Arkin. Save, rebound. Still loose in front, scooped up. And Romarov moves out ahead to Shin. Lead pass for Romarov, couldn't reach that. And Roy's got it back. That pass gets by Shimolevsky, icing called against the United States.
That was a heck of a save by Boyarkin. Another one, head up, and he's putting, look at that, shooting. Great shot by Roy, right onto the stick of Robinson. Gets a good tip on it, cuts it back, cuts it up. Boyarkin spots it late, but didn't enough time to make the save.
One of the great National Hockey League goaltenders of the last 20 years was from Kazakhstan, and getting to Bakov. So was your old teammate Nick Antropov.
Yeah, Nick Antropov, famous for his exploits with the Kazakhstan World Junior team.
Moved ahead by Robinson. Robinson plays it back around. Boyle on it. Ryan Boyle centers a quick shot for Drury. Turned away in tight by Boyarkin.
Boyle, nice little cut down low, setting up Drury. You gotta think he's gonna feel better as this tournament goes along. He hasn't played all year.
And he played since the bubble last year. Now a centering pass, and that's just missed.
There you go.
By Shevchenko, and back comes Team USA the other way. Donato with it. Ryan Donato drops to Boyle. That pass broken up. And Donato back in the corner with it. Shalapov steps into him, picked out by Boyle. Boyle shoots. Wristed that high.
So Boyle's got his puck right in the slot there. He doesn't shoot it past the Drury. He's so mad at himself the next time he gets it, he takes a wild shot from the boards as like penance for not taking the initial better shot the first time.
Olsen moves out ahead, poked away by Hellickson. And the puck bounces into the Kazakhstan bench.
U.S. keeps showing their quickness down low below the goal line. Stop and starts. And it's Boyle here on Blacker. Draw a second checker, and that leaves Drury all over alone and almost squeezes it through the 7-hole. I don't know if he's aiming there, but another couple inches to his left, and that's in the back of the net.
Shalapov looks around for a Colson. Applicator had his stick knocked out of his hands. That's going to be a penalty. As
Albuquerque making the call in the middle of the play as it
second day up will go off.
Slashed out of his hand. Here of 89's head down to the corner. And I don't know, Justin. I don't know. That's a one-hand tap. I don't know about that one. You'll take it. And there are times when knocking sticks out of hands can be interference or slashing. That is a call that leaves the head coach of Kazakhstan looking just like that. Mikhailis, who's got a nice demeanor behind the bench. It looks like he's having some fun with his team first couple games.
Head coach of Baris Nursultan in the KHL. United States back on the power play. LeBanc back to Jones. Zach Jones to LeBanc. Shoots that wide. Abdelkader to LeBanc. And that pass back to the point. Missed Jones, who ranges back for it. Blackwell with it. To Abdelkader. That pass hit LeBanc in the back. Rink wide to Donato. In comes Donato. A shot tipped in front. Rebound. Backhand shot by Abdelkader. And Boyarkin got a piece of that. And Jesse Blacker sends it back down the ice. Been tough to blow things open against Kazakhstan so far.
U.S. doing the best job we've seen so in the 3 games that they've played to press them. Lots of good opportunities.
Peterson around to Jones. Zach Jones' pass was off the skate of Moore. And here is Trevor Moore with it. Slides it across to Garland. In for Robertson. Robertson to Garland. Has a look, feeds it across, and Clendenning. Back to Garland. Clendenning shoots, and that deflects over to Robertson. Robertson back again to Weidman, to Garland. Robertson centers it, tipped by Bayarkin. Another chance for Weidman, that's knocked away. Centered, and now picked up by Akolzin. Final seconds of this power play for Team USA, and Shevchenko moves in with it. Knocked down by Robertson. 3 shots for Team USA in that power play. Remains a 2-0 game. Robertson banks that down off the end board. Almost got his own shoot in there. Garland steps up. Knocks that play down. Robertson try to hook that back in front. Savitsky got a stick on that. Shalapov up for Volk. And Sagadev out of the box. Had that knocked away by Roy. Back around to Tennyson. That lead pass missed Robinson. And Savitsky with a chance, throws it back in front, just missed Volk with that pad. Stolen once again, this time by Mihalis. And here's Volk. Straightened up there by Rooney. That pass almost picked up by Mihalis in the high slot. Roy ahead to Rooney. Or Shimolevsky. And Rooney plays it back along the board. Shimolevsky to an open wing. And Orehov picks it up now for Kazakhstan. Stepanenko to Shin. Shin drops it back to Shekarov. Romerev. Doubles back in the corner, being watched by Drury. Romerev plays it back down to Shin. Shin's centering pass was knocked away from Romerev, and Orehov couldn't hold the line.
Jack Kaplan will be telling us guys, play it same, play it smart, be safe, we'll get our chances. Just get a little bit loose with their puck management, giving down a couple near chances. Cal Peterson.
Shestakov trying to kick that free.
Got to move it, a lot of skates in there. It's a cow convention, all the moves going on down there.
Drury on it. Shevchenko. Moved around by Starchenko. Nakukov shoots, and Cal Peterson hangs onto that. Took a late whack on the play from Shevchenko. .33 to go in the second period. Game number 1 here on day 5 of the World Hockey Championship. Later on here tonight, Finland will take on Norway. The other arena right now, Great Britain taking on Denmark.
Great Britain's done pretty well, not getting, you know, they're in every game, they're hanging around. Scores haven't been too lopsided for them. The news that their Super League's going to be firing back up this fall.
Yeah, they actually came back and played a little bit down the stretch. Down 2-1 to Denmark in the second period. Long shot by Willanen goes wide. Stepchenko. Up Up ahead for Asitov. You got crunching the American boards, and the boards rather in front of the American bench, and play is called.
Justin Abdelkader's got the C on for the U.S., and I wasn't sure what we were going to get out of Abdelkader. Struggled with some injuries down the stretch in Detroit. Continued his career in Zug in Switzerland, and had a really good year there. And I wasn't sure if he's going to be more of a figurehead, but through 2.5 games scored, I've been impressed with how well Abdelkader is moving around on the ice. His skating looks to be better than when he left the NHL.
Bought up by the Red Wings in October. Signed with EV Zug in Switzerland, as you mentioned. Won a championship there.
And I can see the value in some experience as the US going to pick up their first penalty in the trip.
9:48 to go in the period. And Kazakhstan gets its first power play. So Matt Tennyson goes off for a trip in Kazakhstan, which is 2 for 5 on the power play so far in the tournament. 2 of their key goals in the tournament so far have been scored on the man advantage. Shin and Payukov both tied games with power play goals.
And these are the moments they have to be very efficient with. They haven't generated much of anything, shot badly, but give themselves a chance they can be productive on the power play.
Hylas up for Volk. Volk tried to center, that was knocked down by Roy. Kept alive by Savitsky. Orehov plays it back, and a hard shot taken there by Panyukov, who's behind the goal. Mihalis reaching for it. Hellickson up ahead to Rooney. He's got Robinson with him, killing the penalty. And Orehov takes down Rooney. Orehov to Volk. And Volk it across the line, but the play's offside at the American blue line.
Tennyson in the box. Take a look at what he's trying to step up here, and this has been a consistent call. Pushing out the back of the legs when you go into a collision, whether it's with your stick or with your skates. It's been called the trip all tournament long. We see Curtis Volk back playing, took that knock to the head from his teammate Mihalis. Able to get back out there and keep going.
Abdelkader broke his stick. Quickly retrieved on the U.S. bench.
Part of the discussion, how many sticks are you going to bring over to a tournament like this? You get a lot.
Romarev, allotment would be a lot lighter than everyone else's. That's about 4 feet long, that thing. And here he is, Romarev with it. Plays it rink wide. Dietz jumps into the power play for Kazakhstan. Roy taken down, still loose in the corner. Roy got it knocked down. Starchenko holds the line for Kazakhstan. Starchenko to Shin. Romarev had that knocked away and sent down the ice by Moore. Dietz. Sagadeyev chips that in. Roy goes back for it. And Tennyson steps back on for Team USA. Almost a breakaway pass for him. Now Robinson moves in. Stepanenko tried to feed that ahead. Brian Boyle got in the way. Stepanenko goes back. Around for Zagadev. Colson. That lead pass knocked down by Weidman. And Colson's got it back. Robertson jumps in across the line to Garland. Feeds that back. Jones in the corner for Garland. That's picked off by Colson. Trying to find Savitsky, but a great job by Donato to break that up.
Donato gets a run in the middle here with Robertson and Garland after Moore kills the penalty.
In comes Garland, walks right in. Poke check there at the last moment by Savitsky. Weidman shoots. Hits Stepanenko up high, kept alive by Jones. He shoots. Stepanenko blocked that. Colson. Chance now for a 2-on-1. Savitsky with Volk. Savitsky in, shoots. He fired that wide. Garland.
He plays so low to the ice. He's already a shorter player, but he skates so hunched over when he handles it. He's down by guys' shoulders, hips, the entire game.
Rehov shoots, and Tennyson got a stick on that. It's knocked down and held by Peterson.
Connor, but he's very effective at it. Shifty, and then just the last minute poke check from Stepanenko taking it away. But he gets underneath the leverage points of the guys checking him. They don't have the strength they expect, even though he's smaller, because he's lower center of gravity than they do. It's fascinating to watch him, and him and Robertson got something going now, Gordon. You can tell the kind of chemistry. They like passing into each other, looking for each other on the power play.
Funny how that works, right?
And skilled guys like hanging out together.
And down the road, that can lead to free agent signings, trades, you name it. When they
relationships are, you develop at this tournament.
Beniers loose in the corner with it. Matty Beniers plays that back to Olanen, back across to Tennyson, steps into that and shoots. And Boyarkin makes the stop. Team USA leading 2-0 here at the 2021 World Hockey Championship. .52 to go in the second period. The United States looking to run its record of 2-1 in this World Hockey Championship. Will take on Latvia on Thursday. Kazakhstan has Germany tomorrow. Germany 3-0 so far in this tournament. And holding open roster spots.
There would have been a call. How do you have that delicate conversation? We're very sorry about your loss.
Very sorry you got swept.
And
just lost in triple overtime. By the way,
if you want to jump on a plane and start your quarantine.
Sharp angle shot by Rooney. Boyarkin sweeps that away.
That would be great.
Jones shoots. Boyarkin the save on that. Now a penalty coming to Shimolevsky. And so Kazakhstan will go to the power play here with 5:18 to go in the second.
Offensive zone penalties never make the coach happy. Shimoleski gets called hanging around in front of the net. There's the first tip. And get his stick caught in the feet of Shalapov. Take him down, almost accidental. Another nice look from Jones from the blue line. He's very crafty at getting it down there. Not hard, but down where his forwards can do something with it.
Number of players famous for that over the years.
Ray Bork.
Yeah.
Ray Bork could shoot it hard, but back when there was wood sticks, it was hard to do that. Because it's hard to shoot hard enough off the back foot.
Larry Murphy.
Murph would basically pass it down to you, yeah.
Nick Lidstrom.
Those are pretty good defensemen. If you like offensive defensemen.
Yeah.
Those will do.
Eric Carlson great at getting pucks through as well. In comes Robinson short-handed with a shot. Boyarkin save and trickled through, and he reaches back with the emergency swing to hold on to that.
Eric Robinson, he bombs around. This is how he plays. He plays full out, straight line, fast. His hands are not so much hands as they are push and go. Drags it through. That's a pretty good move. Chop it up, and Boyarkin squeezes it, or does he, as it's rolling back, but I've always marveled at goaltenders who have so much equipment on.
And the puck
Big,
weighs 6 ounces.
Thick pieces of foam, and they know always right where it is.
They
can feel it dribbling through.
And they know they don't have it.
I can't feel a thing when it's in my gear.
Shin drops it back with the plays offside at the American line.
So Boyarkin's keeping his team around it.
You know what? He's 22 years old, Boyarkin is. He's 6'2", so he meets the
height requirement to play in the NHL?
He does, unfortunately. I mean, you hate to say it, but I mean, and UC Saros is playing great for Nashville in the playoffs.
He is the exception to the rule.
There's only a handful of goalies left who are under 6 feet tall. So, I mean, you wonder if someone would take a look at Boyarkin.
Yeah. And it's always hard to judge goaltenders that have played in the KHL because the numbers are so outrageous.
His save percentage this year was .949. Now, they only really played playoff games, but
you get him in games like this, and maybe you get a better sense of what he can do against a different kind of roster.
Starchenko back to Dietz, tees it up, feeds it across Romero, back to Dietz, shoots! What a block there by Blackwell, and that took a bite out of him. Starchenko with it. Starchenko, a centering pass, knocked down by Blackwell. He's away shorthanded.
The foot's okay.
Goes in 1-on-4. Plays that around. Rooney comes off the bench. Drops it back down to Blackwell. Now Rooney takes that pass. Loose in front. Boyarkin knocked that away.
Get here, Blackwell calling him Runes. Wanted the puck on the back door. Almost got it to him. That would have been quite a shift for Colin Blackwell.
Couple of Boston area guys.
Not to mention a couple Rangers.
Boyarkin back around to Volk. 10 seconds to go in the Kazakh power play. Cross ice pass to Mihalis. In for Volk, that bounces off his stick. Chmielewski steps out. Shots are 35-12 in favor of the United States. A 2-0 lead with 3 to go here in the second period. Denmark still leading Great Britain 2-1 across the street.
I want Latvia, Great Britain with fans. See that kind of experience next year.
Wouldn't that be great?
I hope so. No relegations, though. They'll be in the tournament.
Here's Garland with it. Sends it back in front. Boyarkin knocked that away from Robertson. Wow. Back to Garland. Flipped that wide. Picked up now by Roy. Pokes it ahead to Moore. Nifty pass by Robertson to Garland.
Yep.
They got it going on, these two. Garland spins back in the corner. Rehov pinned him against the boards. Held by Roy with a long shot. Gloved by Boyarkin. And he'll squeeze that.
Connor Garland stopping and starting, spinning him like a top. And almost finds Robertson the back door. Tries to slide it through between Boyarkin's poke check and the pile of bodies. I don't think Robertson gets a good, clean look at it. Oh, he was there for him. He moved the stick too early. One thing I like when I watch Jason Robertson go, underrated skill. As Brian Boyle going the lefty-righty face-off, turning his stick over to take it righty.
He's done it too.
We've seen Sagadeyev do it for Kazakhstan. He might want to work on it. That was a pretty feeble effort there, Brian.
Shevchenko won that pretty cleanly.
But Jason Robertson pulls pucks off the boards as well as anyone I've seen in this tournament. And that is a major skill. That's where you make the next play from.
Penalty coming, 1:50 to go here
it's easy to shovel it back down the boards, cycle it around along the wall, but when you can pull it off the boards and give your teammate the opportunity to do something with it, that is a major boost, and Robertson does it as well as anyone.
Igor Shalapov goes on, so a late power play here for Team USA.
Reaches out and grabs Donato, that's pretty clear.
Trevor Moore has a goal in this game, not the power play, but there was an extra skater on the ice. A penalty was coming to Kazakhstan. Jones to Donato, to the goal mouth he goes, and Abdelkader couldn't get it to go between his feet.
Got to get that out away from the goaltender stick through your legs. Matthew Tkachuk special.
Now Jones a long shot, hit the shin pad, and moved down the ice by Matukov. Here's LeBanc with it. Kevin LeBanc drops it back. Up for Abdelkader. Justin Abdelkader. Slides that in. Back around, picked up by Donato. And Zach Jones sets it up. Jones a long wrist shot that's kicked out by Dietz, and Jones able to hold the line. Final minute now, the second period. LeBanc to Jones, a long wrist shot, and Boyarkin squeezes that with his left arm.
Quite as much movement, and you see Abdelkader almost gets himself tangled up trying to go through his legs. Not quite as smooth as some of the efforts we've seen over the years, but the right idea. And that's not being a hot dog, that's the smarter play to get it away from the poke check of the goaltender.
Talking with Team USA assistant coach Adam Nightingale, who's been a long-time assistant here for the U.S. at the World Championship, first under Jeff Blashill, and now with Jack Capuano. Jack Drury drops it back to Garland. Garland feeds that back to Weidman. To Garland with a shot off the side of the goal.
He can do a lot of things really well. The Ovechkin one-timer, I'm not sure it's his bag of tricks.
Here's Weidman with it. Looks it back across to Garland. To Weidman. Garland tees that one up, and yeah, you might have a point there. Moore lost the puck to Shevchenko.
Well, good decision by Garland. Step into him there. Don't pivot and go back and try to race with him. He was stuck flat-footed.
Colson taking it hard there by Weidman. As time expires here at the end of the second period, the United States will have 11 seconds of power play time to carry over into the third. Trevor Moore's goal extends it to a 2-0 lead.
Not quite as dominant, dropped the pace a little bit for the American, but still played a lot in the offensive zone. If they're going to talk about something in between the second and third, Gord, it might be the power play and trying to get a little crisper, because they might not need it in today's game, but going forward, they're going to make sure to have that clicking better than it has today.
You're watching the 2021 World Hockey Championship from Riga, Latvia. Our second intermission is coming up.
I'm good, how are you?
Good. Sorry. And we'll just put you in next time. Zach, Kazakhstan's goalie, Nikita Byorkin, has been a brick wall this tournament. USA registering 38 shots on net through 2. Is the key to keep applying this type of pressure?
Yeah, obviously you want to get as many shots as you can during a game, and he's been playing great throughout the whole tournament, so as long as you keep getting bodies to the net, we should be good.
You're known as an offensive defenseman. This style of game, lots of puck movement. Your style?
It's awesome. I love it.
Awesome. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you.
For the last 2 years, we had to pause the game that we love. But the love for the game has never died. Ice hockey is ours. Our endless spirit, our passion, our love. Little by little, the IIHF is bringing the game back. It is time to get back on the ice.
Игра состоит из множества моментов. Каждый момент приближает тебя к выигрышу. Ближе и ближе. Движение за движением. Касание за касанием. Момент за моментом. И победа. Rezultāts veicotās trešdaļas. ASV 2, Kazakhstāna 0. Metieni pa vārtiem.
Stop, guys. Good, good. Stop. Perfect. Hey! Move! Get! Move!
Peterson has faced just 12 shots in the game. The United States will open the third period with a brief power play for 11 seconds. Kazakhstan has 2 wins in the tournament, both in overtime, so that's worth 4 points. Imagine if the NHL went to 3 points for a regulation win, 2 points for overtime or shootout win, and 1 point for an overtime or shootout loss.
I would appreciate the urgency to try to win games in regulation. I mean, I think
you'd see it late in games where
where teams with 5 minutes left don't decide, well, let's just get the 1 and we'll figure out the 2 later. I think that would be a good thing. But I think the field run the numbers on games like that, and standings don't change that dramatically. And I also think lack of compression for 3-point teams. All of a sudden, when you're 17 points back, it feels a lot worse than 10 back.
And the top teams really are top, which they are. I mean, to be honest,
we like to play mind games with ourselves that we're still in it when we're 7 back instead of 14.
Right.
So
you pretty much just shot that down.
Well, no, but I think these are things worth exploring. We've talked about, amalgamating perhaps the crease violation or the boarding penalty, and the vertical plane and the offside. Like trying to find the best of both worlds and have a more universal rule book between international hockey and the NHL. I just don't know if the 3-2-1 is going to get adopted.
No.
In the first wave of changes.
Robertson knocks that down along with Garland. That's knocked away by Mihalis, and Mihalis, another collision with a teammate.
Watch out for 10 on the white.
Savitsky almost got walked there by Moore. And Jones snaps it into Robertson. Robertson down to Moore. Loose in the corner with it, looks down to Robertson. That's taken away by Blacker. Jesse Blacker was a Memorial Cup champion with Windsor back in 2009.
Teams were stacked back then in Windsor.
Now picked up by Volk, going in one-on-one against Roy. Shoots off the outside of the post. Kazakhstan trailing by 2 for the first time in the tournament. The U.S. 3-0 all-time against Kazakhstan at the World Championship. The last 2 meetings, though, settled in overtime. Most recently in 2014. Ramirez throws that down, picked off by Beniers and moved across to Tennyson. Matty Beniers in the American lineup this afternoon in place of Tage Thompson, who was injured in the American win over Canada.
See him get more ice time here in the third period.
And in comes Jack Drury with a shot. Boyarkin knocks that away. Centering pass bounced by everyone.
Got the wheels loose on Beniers. See him scoot around out there.
Now long shot from Donato, scores! Ryan Donato from the point makes it 3-0 USA.
Jack Drury's celebration tells me he might have gotten a piece of that one as it crossed the line. And so many NHL teams now are using that third forward high on the blue line, and there's Donato head up the whole way, drifts it in, and oh yeah, there it is. And if Shadopov's gonna stand right in front of the goaltender, you better block the puck as this thing skips along off the top of the blade. And Jack Drury gets his first. Feel good. 3-0 early on also makes this third period a lot more comfortable for the United States.
Jack Drury's got his first of this World Championship. His dad, Ted, internationally for Team USA. His uncle Chris Drury, an Olympian, and now the general manager, not just of the New York Rangers, the president of that team as well, but also the GM of this American team.
Uncle looks smart for bringing on the team. A few non-NHLers.
Drury played for Vakla. Swedish League was a Carolina second-round pick in 2018. That shot by Panyakov deflected wide. So become the night. Finland against Norway.
When you think about the schedule the U.S. has had to start this tournament, it's not been an easy ride. Finland,
Canada. Now a chance for Moore working. Boyarkin's down, and Moore tried to wrap it around, and Boyarkin got the pad across to make the save.
They're going to go Finland, Canada, Kazakhstan, who has been proved difficult, and then Latvia. So they're facing a lot of their toughest opponents early on, and to come out of this game with 6 points out of a potential 9, puts themselves in a pretty good spot. And that puck was skipping along there. Drury didn't even lift his stick up, just scraped off the top of the blade as the coach, Yuri Michaelis, muttering to himself.
Well, Kazakhstan has Germany Wednesday, Canada Friday. Still has Italy and Norway on the schedule.
If they can get Italy, Norway 10.
Kicked out, rebound, loose in front, they score! Poked in by Yegor Petuhov. And Kazakhstan is on the board, down 2. Now the officials are conferring on this one.
Sure everything's gone okay with this?
And I think we're gonna have a look at this.
Lots of bodies in around Kyle Peterson. Going on here, rebound. Does he kick it in? Does he get a stick on it?
Nope, that's a kick.
Oh, so close.
So cool.
So frustrating.
We're going to set a record on this side of the draw for seeing goals disallowed. We had 3 yesterday.
Colson, first of all, rings it off the post when he puts it right through the legs of Peterson, and then just get a touch. Any touch will do, and he, oh my goodness, just comes up a little short. And Anton Jarabek from the Czech Republic indicates they're going to take a look at this one, and
this won't be long.
No, it should not be.
Robin Sear and Anton Jarabek, the 2 Czech officials.
Petukov knows. You can see by the celebration was pretty muted. He recognized that he didn't get a piece of it prior to it crossing all the way over the goal line.
And here is the quick call from the officials.
One of the first real second chance opportunities for Kazakhstan in this game. Will go for knots. No goal.
Nope. By the way, the IIHF's kicking rule, or what I call it, kicking the puck rule into the net, is much tighter than the NHL's. You cannot direct the puck in any way with your skate. I mean, if you're not looking and it goes in, that's one thing.
Any intentional redirection.
Turn your skate, anything like that, doesn't count.
I like those, because sometimes your stick's tied up and you see skilled players making intentional targets with their blades. So we can bring that over from the US to from the NHL to the international rule book. Don't want to discourage goals. Don't want to take them away.
No.
They're hard enough to get as is.
Halos tries to center it. An applicator back for Team USA. For Blackwell, rink wide pass. Walking in is LeBanc. That deflected wide. Blackwell rather back with it. Blackwell across to Hellickson. He shoots, and a pad save made by Boyarkin. I wonder if at some point Kazakhstan will give Boyarkin a rest. Mihalis works it and shoots. That goes wide. Way back across. Dietz in, shoots, and Peterson got most of that and then smothered the rest.
It's good work by Kazakhstan in the offensive zone. Snap it around a little bit, ends up with the shooter having the puck on his stick, and Dietz looking to go underneath the elbow. Almost finds it. Or Cal Peterson smothers the puck. Darren Dietz did score 17 goals this year in the KHL as a defenseman. That is a massive number.
Aren't many forwards had 17 goals in the KHL this year. Very low scoring league. You talked about it. Played on big ice. Big ice hockey much more defensive than the smaller North American surface, or even the hybrid surface that they use in Finland. And the best example of that is the Olympics. Take Olympics played on big ice versus the ones played on small ice. The small ice ones are much higher scoring.
And that's with the best players in the world trying to break it down.
Tennyson across to Jones, moves in and shoots, goes past the skate of Drury and back down the ice. Tennyson spent this year with New Jersey in the NHL, his 4th NHL team. Now Rooney a long shot, and Boyarkin gloves that.
And a chance now at 3-0 for the U.S. to roll their lines, get everyone involved. Spread it out as they have another day off tomorrow. Or as you mentioned, they play Latvia on Thursday. Be a pretty important game in the standings.
Glendenning will open the scoring in this game. Races back for Team USA to Wolanin. He's tied up by Shestakov. Shin tries to center it. Shin gets it back to Ramirez. Rink wide pass to Blacker, just out of his reach. Shestakov. Played back. Blacker tees it up and shoots. It went off the stick of Robinson and wide. Blacker back on it. Poke free by Robinson, gets a step on Blacker. In comes Eric Robinson, shoots, and Orehov reached back and deflected that away.
Powerful skater. Every stride you can just see him stretch out his gap.
Rooney back for Tennyson, long shot. Boyarkin knocked that all the way to the sideboards. And now Hellickson off the end boards. Blacker rather knocked that away. Shin taken down by Rooney. And move back around to Blacker. Lead pass to Sagadeev. Hellickson knocks it down. Moore. Garland up ahead for Robertson. Here they come again. Robertson shoots, and Boyarkin makes the stop and hangs on to that. 13-16 to go in the third period. The United States with a 3-0 lead. USA with a 3-0 lead on Kazakhstan. 13-16 to go in the third period, just after 6 o'clock local time here in Riga, Latvia.
Guys probably like their game days because they are a little bit restricted.
Yeah.
Kind of bubble life through the hotel and the rink, so game days were the highlight. The US has kind of conference room set up at the hotel where they get ping pong and cards and video games and watch the other games here or in the NHL.
Stepanenko off the side of the goal, so they're basically living like teenagers. They play video games all day and don't leave the house.
They probably love it. They're so young, they probably love it at this point. Living their dream. As long as they have someone to make them some food, they're in great shape.
Got that too.
So it is like living back in the dorms or junior or wherever it might be. Trying to make the best of your time together. And you mentioned the relationships, because that's one of the best part about playing the World Championships. Is you meet guys you've never met before, learn about them as players, learn about them as people, and the hockey world becomes a little bit smaller when you get over here and kind of 25 new former teammates.
Boyle wins that face-off back. Boyle, 6'6", long-time NHL centerman, and Boyle took Volk down. Boyle's one of 14 kids, so battling's nothing new for him. Roy with a backhand shot, and Boyarkin makes the save.
Roy jumping up to play, still activating. It's so hard to be, when you're dominating a game the way the U.S. is this one, shots 45-14 currently. It's hard to maintain the focus and intensity start to finish. I thought through two periods, the U.S. was really good, really consistent. In the third period here, he's dropped off a little bit, which is understandable when you're in as much control of the game as they are.
Boyle wins that draw back to Jones. Cross to Drury. To Donato, back to Boyle. Boyle back with it. Feeds it back to Zach Jones. Rink wide he goes. That pass was knocked away towards the goal by Panyukov. Boyle brings it back around to Donato. And Blacker steps into him. Shevchenko slides it ahead to Starchenko. Starchenko works in, holds and shoots. That deflected wide. Starchenko gathers it back up. Feeds that down to Stepanenko. And the centering pass picked off and moved ahead by Blackwell. Team USA changing. Blackwell comes dashing in. And Blackwell trying to drop that back. It's played out by Panyukov. Shalapov back at center ice. And Weidman plays it across to Wolanin. Wolanin to Weidman. Back across to Abdelkader. Justikov. They're tied up in the corner. It's held by Wolanin. Wolanin shoots. That rocket went just wide. Weidman back on it. Drops it back to Rooney. Chips it there to Weidman back around, and racing to it is Abdelkader out of his reach. Abdelkader is second time around as Team USA's captain. And Wolanin flips that back in the corner. Shalapov. Up on the boards for Shin, and Abdelkader puts that back down to the Kazakh zone.
Still stuff to work on, leading 3-0. Maybe dial back the forecheck a little bit. How does your control forecheck look? How do you protect leads?
Coles had knocked his man down. Now Dietz picks up the point shot, shoots! And Peterson makes the stop on that.
One of the conversations that will be ongoing for the U.S. will be who's going to be the starting goalie. They were going to use all three, and Stolarz got the start in game 2, but Andre went in there, was fantastic against Canada. And Cal Peterson stepping into this game and as solid as you can be. Benefit of the one goal called back that was kicked in. You just wonder who emerges. And when you play games like this, it's hard to evaluate goaltenders, right? Did Peterson do enough to show that he should be the guy? Or was the 14 shots not a real test?
Pass missed. Katuhov. Rooney goes back after it. Pass got away from Sergadeyev. Now moved ahead by Shimilevsky. He finds Robinson or Shimilevsky. Sasser Shimilevsky winds his way in. Makhnoukov got a stick on him. And now Shimilevsky slid that back across, and Dietz knocked that away from Robinson, who was alone on the back door. Robinson back to Weidman. Long wrist shot kicked out by Boyarkin.
Morrison made a living standing in front of the net with all these point shots. He just kind of times himself, drifts into the slot, pops in there when the puck comes.
Weidman in for Robertson. Back to Weidman to Wolanin. Wolanin for Garland. Back to Wolanin. That shot was blocked, and Wolanin gathers it back up at center ice. Christian Wolanin. Feeds that down to Moore. Around to Garland. Centering pass, and Robertson rattled that wide. There's Robertson back with it. What a move in the corner.
Oh my goodness. The stop and go to slow. Look out.
Now Wolanin feeds it back across. That's knocked away from Moore. 8:26 to go in the third period. You're watching the 2021 World Hockey Championship. after a shootout loss to Kazakhstan. Actually won 0-1. That's an overtime loss, good for a point.
There's your 3-point system. Sitting there with 4.
And the difference between winning a game in regulation and winning it in overtime can be a big one. Tennyson shoots. You think back to the World Junior a couple of years ago in Toronto, Montreal in 2015, the United States beaten by Canada on New Year's Eve. They also had an overtime win only in that tournament. As a result, got a much tougher quarterfinal opponent, lost, and went out of the tournament. Long shot by Hellickson. Of course, it's single elimination in the medal round, so those quarterfinal / semifinal matchups become much more important.
You put such stock in that quarterfinal matchup.
In comes Moore now, walks in, holds, and shoots. Boyarkin made the save.
He didn't want to shoot, Gord. He was trying to find Robertson's stick. He only shot because he ran out of options to pass. That's where you got to be a little bit more selfish.
Blacker winds in. That plays offside at the American line.
Trevor Moore's had a nice start to his tournament. A couple points this game, a couple goals last game. And again, skating off the puck. A little toe drag to get the open ice. He's only looking at Robertson's stick. He's trying to pass it, and then finally, I guess I'll try to shoot it. Boyarkin makes a glove save. Good handle. Get the right skate out there if you're Moore. Protect the puck from the sliding defenseman. Nice bit of skill.
That's never been an issue for Moore. Scored 10 goals this year for the Los Angeles Kings. Ball across the line. That shot fired high by Shevchenko. And Boyle's got it back. A remarkable story, Brian Boyle, diagnosed with cancer 3 years ago. And to come back before the end of that season.
It's amazing what he went through, and first game back, he scored a goal on cancer night, the whole bit. He's played for a lot of different teams as of late. A lot of good teams.
Yep.
Always in the playoffs.
Bukov puts it across to Dietz with a shot that goes off a leg and wide.
Heads up.
Just the officials shaking his head about that.
And we've heard, I mean, everyone says that he's a good guy. He's a good guy. A lot of good guys in hockey. But Brian Boyle, from all the teams that he played for, across the board, his teammates glowingly speak about him as a person, as a teammate, and I think that's a big part of why he keeps finding himself on good teams in the NHL.
I think that at some point in the not too distant future, you'll see him wearing a suit on the NHL bench.
He has a coaching in there?
Yeah. He's always been regarded as a guy that, you know,
bright guy, student of the game.
Was always helpful with younger players.
You could see him very quickly. You get kind of one or two paths, right? You go down the coaching path or the player development path into management, depending how on the ice you want to be. You can certainly see the player development thing right away.
He brings some presence at 6'6" as a head coach.
You got to listen to him.
Applicator across the line. That play's called offside. 5:55 to go in the third period. The U.S. with a comfortable 3-0 lead. The United States will play Latvia on Thursday Kazakhstan has got Germany tomorrow. Germany is 3-0, we mentioned, has open roster spots, playing well, young players contributing. Moritz Seider's been very strong on defense for them. Lucas Reichel, the forward, having a good tournament, the Chicago first-round pick.
I think they got a goalie, Niederberger, who has been excellent.
Yeah. There's a quick chance in front, in tight. The save made on a Colson by Peterson. A good scoring chance for Kazakhstan. Just had a goal disallowed here in the third period for the puck being kicked in. Bumped ahead by Asetov, and Peterson way out to play it. Up for Donato. Donato shoots, knocked away by Boyarkin.
The way Donato carries the puck, he's always cradling it in ready position. He is a shooter and always looking to shoot.
Led the Olympic tournament in 2018 in goals scored.
I mean, if I could shoot like that, I probably would always look to shoot as well. He's got a great release.
Pass to Mihalis working in, and Roy stays with him to take him off the puck. His dad, Ted Donato, the head coach at Harvard, where Ryan played. Teddy was a hard-nosed player for a lot of years in the NHL. In comes Dietz with it, and Mihalis was trying to hop back. He was in the air on the way back, but
don't think if that works if you take off on the wrong part of the wrong side of the blue line.
There's Sasha Shimolevsky, the native of Huntington Beach, California. We mentioned 3 Californians.
And you'd figure guys around the same age might have crossed paths. And sure enough, him and Jason Robertson did play minor hockey together, both in California and a little bit in Michigan. So familiar faces from years gone by.
Shimolevsky went on to be a star in the Ontario Hockey League for the Ottawa 67s, with the CHL Scholastic Player of the Year. Now a steal. Starchenko with a chance, and a backhand shot goes wide. Dietz throws it back in front. Starchenko drops it back, and none of them get all of that. Was Shevchenko, and Cal Peterson snuffs that play out.
It's 56 minutes of the game. The U.S. have been in full control. Now is not the time to get cute, as Wyman fans on the backhand saucer pass picked off Starchenko in alone. And then a failed clear again. Starchenko all alone. Great chance here, just fans on a rolling puck. Just tighten it up. Chips it in, chip it out. Treat it like a 1-goal game right now. Respect the 3-0 lead.
Which is what they've got across the street. Denmark leading Great Britain 2-1.
Fantastic.
Long shot by Blacker is stopped by Peterson.
I saw that Denmark quickly added several players today. As soon as Nick Ehlers went through,
they gave up on Nikolai Ehlers.
That's enough of that, and we're going to add some more players.
Great Britain only lost to Slovakia 2-1 after being beaten 7-1 by the Russians in their opener.
And Slovakia is currently undefeated on the other side.
Yeah.
Which has been a long time for Slovakia to kind of threaten the upper levels of this tournament.
Coached by Craig Ramsey.
Been around for a long time.
And one of the great people in the game.
He's fantastic. Coached me in Tampa a little bit.
I can honestly say, I don't recall anyone ever saying a bad word about Craig Ramsey.
Even in some of those days in Tampa, which were tough.
Dicey with John Tortorella.
Yeah, Steve Ludzik, John Tortorella, we were not a good team, and he somehow maintained his patience. He prides himself on being a teacher, which was probably good for that team. We had a lot to learn.
Glendening will open the scoring. Slides out of Blackwell, knocks it down to the Kazakh zone. Stepanenko goes back, being watched by Abdelkader, and Abdelkader took him in hard. At center ice, Jones picks it up. Very young U.S. team. The United States has had great success at the under-18 level and the World Junior level. 10 gold medals in the last 20 years at the under-18s, 4 gold the last 12 years at the World Junior, including the most recent one. And 8 of these players are products of the U.S. National Team Development Program, which is
a factory for high-end players.
They gather in, used to be Ann Arbor, Michigan, now Plymouth, Michigan. under 17 team and under 18 team. So the under 18 team plays in the IIHF under 18 tournament every spring.
That's the one they've been dominated as some of the Canadian junior players are still playing junior playoffs.
Right. In comes Garland with it. Garland drops. Rooney in, shoots. It ramps off the stick of Dietz. Up and out of play. There are a number of changes to this World Championship, Mike, that you've referred to. Of course, the players are in a bubble. At the end of the game, the player of the game presentations, no one actually makes the presentation. The players go up and skate and grab their watch.
Yeah.
There's no post-game handshakes.
Right. Pre-game, no shaking hands with the captain, no little banner exchanges, not talking to the referees. It's kind of a nod, a wave, and thank you very much.
So there have been tests conducted every day here at the tournament. One Kazakh tested positive prior to the tournament, but there's been none in competition as of yet. Mihaela centers it. And picked up by Robinson. Shimilevsky shoots. Knocked down by Wolanin. And now a penalty coming. Shimilevsky taken down. And on TSN 3, we can tell you Great Britain has just tied it. Wow. Against Denmark. Mike Hammond has tied it up for Great Britain. They were honestly in the Slovak World Championship in 2019. They were fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, just
great guys to be around. And
a lot of them have full-time jobs. The one guy was joking that they couldn't make the medal round because of a roofing job starting the next week, so he really couldn't squeeze the medal round in. He'd have to do some explaining.
Got a big gig coming up next week. Got to get out of here.
But the Elite Ice Hockey League, they call it in Great Britain, is well supported. The Belfast Giants.
One of my old roommates lived over 4 years in college at Bowling Green, runs the Cardiff Devils. Todd Kelman, longtime executive over there.
Jones across to Robertson in shoots. He fired that wide.
So much I like about Jason Robertson's game. We watched Dallas. I didn't get to call many of the games this year, of course. Out of the north, but.
Boy, he caught fire the last 25 games of the year. Only Kirill Kaprizov had more points as a rookie than Robertson.
I watch him play now, and it seems sustainable because it's not. He's just so much about brains.
Former OHL scoring leader. Now Jones a long shot, goes off a stick. And that's knocked away by Shevchenko. Donato plays it back around inside a minute to go here in the third period. Robertson steps up.
Pulling off the boards again. That's a dive, if you've ever seen one.
Jones to Robertson, winds in. He got poke checked there by Stepanenko. And picked up by a Colson. Steps around Jones. And a Colson plays that around. Scooped up by Donato. 3-on-1 for the U.S. Donato works in. Boyarkin's down.
I used to hate when goalies would do that. When they're beat, you can hear Donato's feelings about it. They go and cross-check your hands. They slash at your stick. Like, it's enough I got to worry about your pads.
The bank works in. He shoots. He fired it wide. Time winding down here in the third period. And the United States will improve its record to 2-1 with a 3-0 win over Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan falls to 2 overtime wins and a loss for 4 points, and the U.S. vaults over them.
That's a good win for the
group standings.
It's a good win for the U.S. Kazakhstan had been a plucky opponent in their first 2 games, given good teams problems, and the U.S. just leaned on them from the start and never really let Kazakhstan get into the game. 25 shots they put up in the first period, taking full control of the game. Got one, got that second one. Kazakhstan trailing by 2 for the first time in the tournament, just skated away with a comfortable 3-0 win.
The United States will take on Latvia on Thursday. Kazakhstan plays Germany tomorrow. And now time for the player of the game presentations. And then, for the second straight game, the U.S. national anthem.
Katras komandas labākie spēlētāji balvās saņems pulksteni no TISO 2021. Gada pasaules hokeja čempionāta oficiālajiem sponsoriem.
Ladies and gentlemen, the best players of each team will be awarded with the official watch by Tissot, official timekeeper of the 2021 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship.
Labākais spēlētājs Kazahstānas izlasē.
Best player of Team Kazakhstan.
Numur 14.
Number 14, Curtis Walk.
Curtis Walk even able to get across and get this player of the game as he took a hard knock from his teammate. Hit the side of the head in the second period, but is he feeling okay to hang in there?
His great uncle is Kelly Rudy.
Labākais spēlētājs ASV izlasē.
Best player of Team USA.
40. numurs.
Number 40, Cal Peterson.
Not the busiest night for Cal Peterson, but when you're perfect, you're perfect. Makes some decent saves. And
native of Waterloo, Iowa.
Love the gear. Love the Team USA gear put together quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of USA.
Pasaules čempionāta nākamā spēle šovakar arēnā pulksten 20:15 tiekoties Somijas un Norvēģijas izlasē.
The 2021 IIHF Ice Hockey World Championship will continue today, tonight, in Arena Riga at 8 p.m. for the game Team Finland against Team Norway.
Jack, USA knew that Kazakhstan's goalie Nikita Byorkin would be a challenge. You register 52 shots on net. What was the key on offense tonight?
I think get guys in front of the net. He's a great goaltender. They play well on defense, so we knew we had to get a couple guys in front of the net if we wanted to score.
Jack, you're coming off of your first season in the Swedish League. How has that experience transferred over to your very first World Championship experience?
It helps a lot. I think playing on the big ice all year, I got a good feel for it, know the positioning, and obviously it's a great league, so learned a lot there and helped me out here for sure.
Jack, thank you.
Thanks.
Darren, after 2 games that went to the shootout, USA comes out with a fast pace. What did you think of the energy level of this game?
Yeah, that's right. It was a different pace than what we've seen in the previous 2 games. It's credit to them. Congratulations to them. They played a good game, something that I think we all know and learned to expect from the Americans. So it's a good game.
Coming up next is Germany. They just defeated Canada. How do you prepare for the Germans?
You know what? They're another real strong team. So for us, it's about focusing on us, on our game, and bringing our best effort.
Obviously a different year, living in a bubble, no fans. How's the experience been so far?
You know what, for me, it's been my first experience at this tournament, and I'm really enjoying it, considering all circumstances, so it's a pleasure to be here.
Darren, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.